Hey guys, so this is my review of Venom Inc. Omega, which is the final issue in the Venom Inc. arc, which this issue in particular is a prime example of Marvel's piss poor execution, and I say that because I don't know how the day-to-day of a comic book company is run. I don't work in comics. I don't know. But I assume that there are meetings with the writers, the artists, the editors, the producers, and they sit there and they whiteboard out or come up with kind of the story arcs over the next coming months. And they're awesome. Like this, I can imagine when this was kind of brought up, or like the guidelines of it kind of were drawn up in a meeting, that everyone was like, yes, this is going to be like the winter like event, because in truthfulness, it is a good event. There's a lot that comes out of it, especially at the very end of this issue, and some really neat character developments. You get a new anti-Venom, but like when it came to putting the pen to paper, it just fell really flat. Like you can tell that the bones of the story and the bones of the story arc are good, and they make so much sense, and it's such a great adventure story, but like it just, especially this issue, just ruined with dialogue and kind of some miscues on the art that either the editor should have picked up or something. But so let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll kind of go in. But so the Venom 160 was part 5. That was the last issue in the story arc, and Venom teamed up with Spider-Man and Flash Thompson, who is now anti-Venom, to as well as Black Cat, to take down Lee Price, who had a brief stint as Venom but is now going as the symbiote Maniac. And Maniac has this odd aspiration of just controlling crime syndicates with his symbiote suit, which, again, you have a symbiote suit, why do you need crime syndicates? It's kind of a, again, that's misstep like number 1, and that was like a couple issues back. But so the heroes stopped that, but now the symbiote has now come back to Lee Price and has formed this like mega Maniac. So this is the first miscue. This is Andy. She has like a Hellfire ability. She has like a curse or whatever, but they told her to be a lookout and look out for things. So our heroes are down in front of this mansion, right? And I think Anti-Venom is Dre. Like if you kind of look, he might be Dre. But they're down in front of this house, and Andy from up top just says, "Hey, something's happening on the ground over there," and points. How do they know where that is? Like, where is there? There's no specifics. There's no anything. Like, they're not looking at her. They're obviously communicating over radio, or some sort of communication device. What is over there? Again, just that bothered me. Just like, how do they know? Anyway, so they decide to start fighting. Then, in the middle of the fight, in this huge, massive, Maniac is now, about to take out our heroes. Spider-Man is like, I gotta get these criminals out of here. to safety. And he picks up one dude and starts to move him. And he's like, all right, Flash, you're in charge. And it's like, Spidey, wouldn't it make more sense for you to stop the villain in stopping this massive creature? You would save all of these people instead of having to one by one carry them out. So again, that's number 2. So Flash is like, okay, I'm anti-Venom. I'm going to attack this huge maniac symbiote, which this looks awesome. I mean, that looks bad-ass. And that's about it. Because then, I don't know what happens here. You just see wham and this. So he can't touch the symbiote because his anti-venom is poison to the Venom symbiote. So again, you see wham and all this, and you have to find out in dialogue that he hits him with a tree. Where is there a tree that he gets hit with? Again, just horrible miscues. I mean, an editor should have picked that up and been like, probably need to draw a tree somewhere to make this happen. And then you have Spider-Man. Oh no, Flash obviously flies into the building over here. Black Cat, Flash, Venom, and then Maniac. Which one is which? It's almost impossible to distinguish in this, in almost any of the art, which is Venom and which is Maniac. I had to read this a couple times, be like, why is the Venom symbiote telling Brock that he hopes Flash is dead? And then I was like, oh, that's Maniac. So again, just horrible stuff. Next, finally, Andy decides to join the fight while Spider-Man looks for Flash. And then it's like Fat Venom. I mean, this is a completely separate symbiote. Like, when in all the other issues, Lee Price looked kind of awesome. He had a Venom face, but he still had hair. He had a trench coat, and kind of his undershirt kind of still had the Venom logo. It looked kind of neat. If he was a bigger version of that, or if he had some spikes to make him look dangerous, or something that was a little bit different than just Fat Venom. And look, fat chubby foot Venom. So then Spider-Man gives him, finds Flash, and he gives him this pep talk. And Flash is like, look, you don't need to do that. I can heal. And he's like, oh, you ruined a perfectly good win one for the Gipper speech. No, that is bad. And then, whatever, come on, giant monster, chop, chop. And Spider-Man looks cool there, but again, he talks like a freaking idiot. Again, more fat Venom. That's all this villain is Fat Venom. And again, horrible dialogue. You moron, you're as smart as you are gigantic. God, so awful. So then they come up with, again, a brilliant idea. Black Cat realizes that they can't be controlled twice. It's something in their blood. So at one point, Spider-Man was controlled by Lee Price, but then Flash touches him, and the anti-venom allows the symbiote to release, and he was no longer in control. Well, Black Cat finds out that you can't be controlled twice. So it comes out, and so Spidey's like, okay, I'm gonna it'll be Anti-Venom versus Anti-Maniac, because he uses some of his blood that happened to be dripping out of his mask. Which, again, plot point number like 55 that makes no sense, because it's the Anti-Venom that that touched Spider-Man to release him from the mind control. So it's not anything that like Lee Price's symbiote did to Spider-Man, which they say here. It was like more that the Anti-Venom maybe mutated within their system, but again, they don't mention that. And then so Spider-Man gives Flash some of his blood, and it wigs him out and makes him, like kind of a super Anti-Venom. And they, go to town. There are some more kind of revelations, again, that really do shine light on this series, and especially for upcoming series. One, the fact that maybe Peter Parker and Mockingbird are a little on the rocks, and they even make mention that maybe they need to kind of adventure on their own instead of being, up each other's butts every once in a while. It also comes out that Eddie's going to stay, or not Eddie, Flash is going to stay in New York as Anti-Venom, which leads me to believe there's going to be some crossover between the three of them, which is cool. I like that. Their character interactions were fairly decent, outside of Spider-Man kind of, being a whiny bee the whole time. And now that Black Cat's crime syndicate is crushed, she might be kind of going the Catwoman route as far as like starting, okay, I like stealing things, but I also want to, help people. Again, it's just this whole series has had all of these kind of missteps in it, but because of those, I feel a lot of people are going to miss the really good revelations that come out of it. I know this one's a little long. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe over here. Watch some more videos. Cool. See you later.